But we stay on gyms. Why don't we talk about Grant's buddy's gym?
Let's do it.
Actually, it's good.
So, and I think we should just do a little bit of like what you should look for when you're going to a gym, right? So we're saying that a hotel gym is not great. I think there are certain things that you're looking for when you're like trying to get a gym. The assumption is that you want to get stronger. The assumption is that you understand that the big compound lifts are important and you want to be able to do those safely and effectively. And so you're going to need a power rack. You're going to need a barbell. You're going to need plates with small increments, so that you can make small jumps and go up on the bar. So you want the gym to at least have 2.5s. You want to have collars. Hopefully the squat rack is either a cage where you can squat inside of it, or it's some kind of apparatus that has spotter arms that come out so that you can fail, so that you can lift alone. You want the bench press to also have a safety mechanism. A lot of commercial gyms will have bench presses with like those weird hooks in the metal, so like the height's kind of weird and hard to get back in. Preferably you have a bench press, preferably just bench inside the squat rack. Really, you can go to a place like a powerlifting gym that has competition squat racks and bench presses. I personally don't love those a ton. I mean, I'm a guy that's been lifting for a long time, has competed in powerlifting, and I still like just find them kind of confusing and not user friendly. So if you're a person that's like just getting started, a super intense powerlifting gym, the equipment, I don't want to say it's hard to use, but, it might be a little bit more difficult to figure out, how to set everything up. Plus it's going to stink and there's going to be a lot of trash and a lot of sweaty people and in a powerlifting gym, but they can be great. CrossFit gyms usually work pretty well. Problem with CrossFit gyms is you got to make sure that they allow open gym and they're cool about it. Sometimes like they only want you to do the class. And if you're the guy that's trying to just, squat 3 sets of 5 in the corner and there's a class going on, someone needs to do a bunch of wall balls or, muscle ups or something, you can be in the way. But you're generally looking for, at least a power rack, a bar, and plates. And that's like step 1 to get started. And then step 2, and then this is like where Grant's buddy's gym comes into play, is once you get used to like using nice stuff, anything else is not as nice. And so this gym, the House of Pain, I mean, if you looked at it, you'd say it's a nice gym. I will say, I think they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They probably have 12 squat racks in there, which is funny on a gym that's, 30,000, 40,000 square feet. They barely have more squat racks than the Strength Coach Costa Mesa, not to be confused with the Strength Coach HB. But they do have a lot of power racks, but you start to realize like, hey, this is a 3x3 rack. Some people like that. I don't like a 3x3 rack because you lose an inch on either side where the barbell sleeve is. So if you don't walk out perfectly straight, you hit the uprights. It also on this particular gym has spotter arms that come off of the 4x4 rack, which to me is silly and kind of a waste, because now, like, why would you not just squat in the middle with safety pins or pipes or something? So now you have to squat outside. And so me lifting, I've run into some issues where I walk out of the gym or walk out of the rack perfectly, but because it has spotter arms and because they're 3x3s and because which I'm about to get to you, I'm using bumper plates. When I squat down, the edge of the plate will sometimes hit the spotter arm, which can jack up a heavy squat. So preferably like 2x3 racks are a little bit better. You don't want a Smith machine. It's not to say that you can't lift on a Smith machine, but you can't lift on a Smith machine. You can do things on it, but if you're squatting, you don't want the bar to be in a fixed pathway. You want to control the bar. You want to use your body to keep the bar over midfoot. So a Smith machine is not ideal. But yeah, so you want to find a power rack, bench, a place to deadlift with some type of flooring. Doesn't have to be like a wood center on your deadlift platform. It can be horse stall mats, just on the ground. It can be rubber matting from the gym floor, whatever the case may be. But those are kind of the things you're looking for in a good gym. And then when it comes to plates, I've been using bumpers the last few weeks here, and not just like any bumpers. The Strength Co, we sell bumpers. They're made in USA. These are China ones, but that's not the problem. They're just like super thick. They're kind of like oily, and you run out of space in the sleeve. And that's not like, I'm not some crazy 600-700 pound squatter. Even squatting 405, the weight gets further out on the bar. There's more whip when you hit the hole, which not that you can't brace and do that anyway, but you do feel it. And the heavier you go, the more instability. It can kind of kick you off balance. It's a pain to micro load it. I also don't like having to switch brands. So I'm using like bumpers all the way down to 10s. And then I got to walk to the other side of the gym where they have a small selection of iron and grab the 5s and the 2.5s and bring them over. If I'm pressing and need to make a small micro load, I got to go to my gym bag and grab my Strength Coach 1.25s because they don't have them there. There's only like 3 pairs of 2.5s in the whole gym. So sometimes you just can't find where they are. So there's like, hey, I need this stuff and I can totally get strong off of like crummy plates and, bars and things of that nature. But then once you've had the nice stuff, you've had the barbell with the nice knurling, you've had the plates with every increment jump, you've had the collars, like the lever Strength Coach collars that you put on, you can put the next plate on and then remove it without bringing everything off. Like once you've done all that stuff, switching over to something else, which most people would walk in and be like, whoa, nice gym. I'm just like, man, I want my own stuff. And I want it a certain way, but that's what to look for in a gym.